President Mohammad Nasheed announces that government has decided to make Addo Atoll a city. Speaking at a press conference held at the President office on Wednesday, the President said Saturday's referendum showed that people of Addo supported government proposal to make the atoll a city. As the atoll becomes a city, individual islands would become wards, while a municipal office will replace atoll office, he added. The President said according to the agreement reached between the government and the main opposition party DRP, 17th of this month was the deadline to determine inhabited islands for the upcoming local council elections. At the press conference on a wide range of issues, the President said he wanted the Elections Commission to hold local council elections as soon as it was logistically possible. President Mohammad Nasheed says the only reason why he has not ratified the amended public finance bill is that enactment of the bill can block government subsidies. However, he added the government already was complying with all provisions of the bill except the subsidies provisions. Highlighting that there were a number of needy people, the President said government could not allow the various kinds of subsidies that it was providing to come a halt as a result of the bill. The President acknowledged that the intention of the MPs who voted for the bill was not to stop those basic services to the people, adding that the government wanted a solid legal framework for its social protection system. He said as soon legislation for government social protection system was passed, the public finance bill could be enacted. He added that government had requested the main opposition DRP for talks on legislation for government social protection system. According to the amendment proposed to Article 7 of the Public Finance Act, any relief, benefit or subsidy by the state must be given in accordance with laws passed by the People's Majlis. Today's Parliament session is called off second time in a row over the dispute regarding the endorsement of Ali Rashid Umar as Auditor General. Parliament sitting was called off on Tuesday after parliamentarians disagreed with the agenda to proceed with the committee report on Ali Rashid Umar. Parliamentarians representing DRP reiterated that the committee report on Ali Umar was not endorsed by the majority of the Parliamentary Committee on Finance. Following the dispute with the chair of the Parliament, MP Mohammad Nasheed was asked to leave the chamber. Yesterday's Parliament sitting was eventually called off when MP Nasheed refused to leave the chamber. Attempts by the officers of MNDF to remove him chamber ended in vain. Former Anti-Corruption Commissioner Ali Rashid Umar was nominated to the post of Auditor General by President Mohammad Nasheed. His name was sent to the Parliamentary Finance Committee on the 16th of June. The committee report, which is not passed by the committee majority as alleged by MDP, was on the agenda for today's Parliament sitting. MDP's parliamentarians raised concern over the issue from the very beginning of today's Parliament session. The Speaker of the Parliament said that he is looking into the issue and urged the MPs to allow him proceed with the rest of the agenda, but his pleas went unheard. Commerce Development Environment is assigned to create the action plan for the development of North Province. The agreement was signed by the Deputy State Minister of North Province, Ali Niaz, and the Director of the Consultant of the project, Dr. Ahmad Shaikh. Speaking to MNBC ONE, Deputy State Minister Ali Niaz said that the action plan will give a framework on which the development plans of the province will be implemented. He said that the development action plan will complement with government's development framework, which was publicized in 2009. The consultant of the project, CD's Director Ahmad Shaikh, said that the action plan will be drawn upon the previous and current development areas of the North Province. He also informed that the action plan will be put into paper after consulting with various stakeholders in North Province. President Mohammad Nasheed appoints Mr. Hassan Lutfi as a member of the Anti-Corruption Commission today. The President presented the letter of appointment to Mr. Lutfi at ceremony held at the President office this morning. Speaking at the ceremony, the President noted that the Commission was complete with the appointment of Mr. Lutfi and said he was confident that Mr. Lutfi would fulfill his duties to the fullest. Prior to the presentation of the letter of appointment, Mr. Lutfi took the oath of the ACC membership. The oath was administered by Supreme Court Judge Abdullah Arif. Hay Festival 2010 is to begin in Maldives tomorrow. Talented artists, thinkers and innovators from abroad are participating in this festival together with Maldivian artists to showcase their work. BBC's presenter Monty Don starred as editor and India's famous writer Shobha Day, author and environmentalist Mark Lyons and the best-selling author of Atonement McEwan are some of the well-known artists to feature in this year's festival. The festival will start at the Alimas Ufa Carnival on Thursday night. The rest of the festival will commence in Ara. President Mohammad Nasheed will host a special function for the participants of this festival. Hay Festival will continue to 17th of October. With the world cities never having been so at risk of disruption by disasters as they are now, Secretary General Ban Ki-moon today underscored the need for wide participation in bolstering the resilience of urban areas to hazards.
Words such as biggest, deadliest and worst ever have been prevalent in headlines in this year on earthquakes, floods, hurricanes and other disasters, Mr. Ban said in his message on the International Day for Disaster Reduction. According to figures cited by the United Nations International Strategy for Disaster Reduction, more than 336 people have been killed by disasters, with more than 250 million others affected by earthquakes, floods, tropical storms and landslides. Changes in the weather pattern have coincided with shifts in human society, as more than half of the world's population now lives in cities. If earthquakes, floods or storm surges were deadly in the past, they are deadlier still in the increasingly urbanized world. He pointed out that many of the world's cities lie along coast, making them vulnerable to storms, inundation and sea level rise. More than 1 billion people in Asia live within 100 kilometers of the coast, while two-thirds of the population of the Latin America and the Caribbean resides within 200 kilometers of the sea. With many living on floodplains, above earthquake fault lines or downstream from treeless areas, the risk of disaster quietly accumulates, making the poorest people most vulnerable, Mr. Ban noted. This year's day comes as the ISDR's campaign to bolster cities' resilience against natural hazards is well underway, with more than 100 cities home to more than 100 million people having signed on. The two-year Making Cities Resilient, My City is Getting Ready scheme focus on a checklist of so-called 10 essential, including reinforcing drainage system to reduce the likelihood of flood, installing early warning system and carrying out public preparedness drill to make communities safer from disasters. Disasters this year also damaged hundreds of hospitals and clinics, underscoring the threats faced by health service in urban areas and the need to ensure that these facilities can continue providing much needed care during emergencies, according to the UN World Health Organization. To protect these sites, WHO recommends that new hospitals be located in safe areas not prone to disasters and that they be built in compliance with building standards. The agency also underlines the importance of emergency preparedness programs and the development of response plan. For its part, the UN Children's Fund UNICEF spotlighted the need to step up efforts to mitigate the impact of disasters on children, who typically represents up to 60% of those affected by disasters, be it through death or disease related to malnutrition and poor water.
Now let's look at the latest international news.